this Sunday night. So let me just get us going here on Facebook. All right, we are live inside the Global Actors Facebook group. Hello, hello, and welcome. We're also live on Instagram, so vice versa. If you are on Instagram and you are not currently part of the Global Actors Facebook group, it's free. I would love for you to join us there. You can click on the link in my bio to join the community for further discussion beyond today's live. So that said, if you're live here on the Global Actors Facebook group, I'm so glad you're joining me here. Please definitely go follow me on Instagram later as well. I'm at elisearsenault.actor. So it's been a busy time of getting the year started, and I have not been on Facebook Live, Instagram Live consistently for a long while now. So if this is your first time seeing me live in a while, let me introduce myself. I'm Elise Arsenault. I am a working actor, audiobook narrator, career coach, performance coach, and founder of The Global Actor, where I help actors live where they want and work when they want. And one of my favorite ways to do that is through empowering actors with a process to become a thriving audiobook narrator. So I do that inside the Great Audiobook Adventure, which is our course. I also do that through group coaching inside Momentum Club and my small group private experience, which is called Power Groups. So if you want to find out any more about that, you can just send me a DM later and we can talk further. But for today, I want to talk about this quote. And I don't know who came up with it. It is something that appeared somewhere on Instagram, and I loved it because to me, this speaks to me. This speaks to the clients that I work with, many of which are here right now. So I'm so glad you're here with us. Just shout out, hey, Karen and Kavita, Lori, Tammy, great to see you. And on Facebook, great to see you, Steve and Catherine. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Catherine. It's so good to see you here. So let's talk about this. If you want to fly, you have to give up the shit that weighs you down. So what is that? What is that next thing you want to do? And what is stopping you? So put a 1 in the comments if you have set some kind of goal for yourself. It could be anything. It could be a personal goal. It could be a professional goal. If you are an actor, it could be TV, film related. If you are an audiobook narrator, it could be publisher related. It could be titles related. Give me a 1 if you have set any goal for yourself this year. So just let me know in the comments. Awesome. Yep. Lori has set a goal. Tammy's set a goal. Kaswana set a goal. Finley set a goal. Awesome. Awesome. I have set several goals myself. So put a 2 in the comments if that goal you are aiming for you have never achieved before. Put a 2 if this is your first time ever going after this specific goal before, or if it's a goal you have not yet reached. Awesome, Marina and Tammy and Kaylee, Cassandra, Kimberly, awesome. Yeah, Tammy, thank you. So you're putting a 2 if you have never accomplished this goal before. Great. Great. I see you. Yeah. So what if we've never achieved this goal before? A few things. We have achieved goals before. So don't feel like it's just insurmountable, but there are probably some new habits we need to take on. There's probably some baggage we have from the past that we need to let go of in order to really fly to whatever this next level is. So I want you to just take a few minutes right now and be honest with yourself. Do you know what your baggage is? And sometimes our baggage is our comfort zone. So let us know if you know what your baggage is. And if you want to name it here in the comments, if you feel brave enough to do it, do it. Let's get it out there. Let's talk about it. What is the baggage? What is the shit? What is the crap that is weighing you down? Where that just might be in your way. For me, and some of my acting goals, I had some limiting beliefs that I really had to take care of in 2021. A lot of my 2021 personal growth was around healing, around some childhood stuff that I just needed to deal with in order to show up 100% truthfully, without a mask, vulnerably in my acting work. So that was a whole lot of shit I had to take care of. And I really began that process really all of last year. And so I feel in a very clear place as I'm looking at my goals for this year because I took care of a lot of that stuff. Not to say once you take care of it, it's gone forever. It's going to be an ongoing thing. But some of the stuff, faulty programming from childhood. Okay, Finley, exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, faulty programming from childhood. Limiting beliefs, Kimberly. Karen says family. Yes. Danielle, thanks for being here. Self-doubt. Allison, fear of burnout. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. Fear of burnout. Procrastination brought on by fear. Oh, Kaylee, I'm so glad you're talking about procrastination. You are not the only person inside the Global Actors Facebook group. Someone else named this earlier. Procrastination is definitely something that comes up to keep us safe. It keeps us in our comfort zone. I'm so glad you're naming that. Lori says fear. Comfort zone. Okay, we're all in the same place, whether it's your comfort zone, whether it's limiting beliefs, whether it's things your family might have said to you, organization and self-accountability. Love that, Kaswana. Fear of self-limiting beliefs. Okay, good. Thanks everyone for putting this out there. Tammy says the past. Liza, being a stay-at-home mom for the better part of a decade makes me so uncomfortable with sending unchecked professional emails sometimes. It makes reaching out in the industry so hard. Ooh, Liza, this is so good. I feel like this one alone could be its own conversation. So I might have, we could delve into this one because I kind of want to take a few examples today and dive into them and see what we can do. Because it's my intention that today you get clear on what some of that baggage is, what some of that crap, some of that stuff, some of that shit is, so that you can, number one, name it. Number two, determine your first step towards clearing it. But then number three, make a commitment to actually deal with it this year. Okay, so right now, so many of you have named it. That is step one. That is huge. That is huge. So just wherever you are, give yourself a big hug because you're doing hard things. Seriously, this is hard. If it was easy, everyone would do it. If it was easy, everyone would be thriving in their own creative careers. And not everyone is, but you are. You're showing up for yourself today. So I really applaud you for showing up. So let's talk about it. Once you've named what that stuff is, what that shit is, what are the things it's stopped you from doing? How have these limiting beliefs, this comfort zone, this procrastination, this fear, how has it actually, is there something it's actually stopped you from doing? Let's just kind of name something it stopped you from doing. Maybe it's an action that you were planning to take, but you just didn't follow through on it. What is something that that you could have done or you thought you could have done if this thing was not in the way? What are your limiting beliefs keeping you from actually doing? And it doesn't need to be the achievement, the goal, but like what's the next action step that you think you need to take that this thing is getting in the way of? Going after larger roles. Thanks, Janine. Yeah. So you're playing small, playing safe. Shout out to Christine Horn, one of my friends and fellow actor coaches. Her book is called Playing Small. We don't want to play small. That's comfortable. That's keeping us safe. But how does it really feel when you play small? When you know you're capable of much more? Auditioning more, pursuing art as a viable profession. Yep. Keeping me from stepping into joy and power. Ooh, this is so good, Catherine. Meg says, at this point, I just need to do it. I need to show up and not assume that I am not the type someone wants for something. Yeah, so you want to clear that limiting belief, clear that fear. It feels like crap playing small. Yeah. Small and safe because others don't count me in, so I don't. Kiara, I love this. I want to talk about some discovery I've had. I'm just getting back from a 2.5-day retreat, that I took with Justin to solidify our goals for the year inside our company, inside the Global Actor, Tree Cave Studio, Tree Cave Creative, our overall company, and both of our creative careers. So if you're new to me, Justin is my partner. He's not only an engineer and creative, he's also a singer-songwriter, and he's getting back to his craft. I am not only a coach, but I'm also a working actor, an audiobook narrator. And I last year I began writing. And something that I realized in the past few weeks is that I don't necessarily need to go the way others might have. So just because a certain path has worked for some people doesn't mean it has to be the same for me. So I've done this many times in my career, and many of you know about this. You know the origin story of the global actor. I believe that you do not need to live in New York or LA full time in order to have a thriving acting career, especially in this time of COVID. And finally, the industry is catching up to that idea. So I just want to let you know some of these limiting beliefs, this is the result of a lot of limiting beliefs that I have cleared. But anyway, in looking at some of my goals for this year, I've realized that I am not going to go in a specific path that feels painful. So to me, in terms of some of my acting work, I'm going to be writing my own stuff. I'm going to be writing my own stuff so that I don't need to worry about the opinions of other people, so that I don't have to have that limit of others choosing me. Okay, so that's just an example. That's just an example. I'd love to take one of your examples right now and just kind of take you through this process of how we might start to clear this stuff so that you can move more efficiently towards your stuff. So let me know if you'd like us to work through one of your things. Just say, pick me in the comments if you want to work through something, and we will dive in. Good to see you here, Shelly. Awesome. Good to see you, Nick. Yay. All right. Thank you, Toya. Thank you, Victoria. So who wants to dive in? Who wants to dive in and maybe work on clearing something today? Kiara, awesome. Oh, Kiara, thank you. Thanks for correcting me. So Kiara, let's work through something. What is the goal that you're moving towards this year? What's a goal that you set for yourself? So I would love for you to share with us what your goal is, and if you're clear on what some of the shit that's holding you back is. Let's name it first. Okay, great. Kiara wants to be a working actor. Great. Kiara, tell us a little bit about what your experience is so far as a working actor. What is your experience as an actor so far, so we can build upon the success that you already have? You want to be booking work consistently. Great. And if there's anyone on Facebook, I'd love to pick someone on Instagram, someone on Facebook. So if anybody wants to dive in, we can go a little bit deeper. So Kiara, what do you think is one of the things that might be holding you back? What is one thing that's in your way? Not doing the work of looking for work. Okay, there we go. Let's start with that. Not doing the work of looking for work. Okay, and do you know why you're not doing the work of looking for work? Sometimes we have to dig a little bit deeper. Why? Why do you think you are not actually moving forward? Feeling overwhelmed with the many opportunities. Okay, cool. What are some of the opportunities that are coming your way? When you say many opportunities, are there opportunities right in front of you? Are they opportunities to work or opportunities to learn? And when it comes to a lot of opportunities, sometimes there are so many things in front of us. And especially if we're engaged a lot in social media, we might be on Clubhouse, we might be on Facebook, we might be on TikTok, Instagram, just scrolling and seeing. The first step would be stop and give yourself some silence to listen in. And what is it that you really want? Because if we're always after, ooh, shiny, ooh, shiny, ooh, shiny, we're not able to get quiet and actually set a plan in place and move consistently on that plan. Okay, great. So for you, Kiera, it's about not being clear on where to start. Do you try voiceover or commercials, etc.? Okay, great. What is your and this I talked a little bit on Clubhouse on Friday in our Global Actor Lounge. So if you're not on Clubhouse in the Global Actor Lounge, check it out. The link is in my Instagram bio. But when it comes to choosing, what does your gut say? What do you really want to do first? Or what feels like the easiest thing in front of you, Kiera, that you might have some experience with? Ah, I don't know how to sit quietly. Okay. All right, so let's start there. Let's start there. Kiera, I'm going to give you a potential next step. If you're open to it, are you open to a next step, Kiera? A next step I would have for you is after today's Instagram Live to turn everything off, to grab something to write with, and just write down your thoughts. And let's start with this sentence. If I really went for it, if I really went for my acting goals, what would I love to be doing 2 or 3 years from now? Okay, so if I were really honest with myself, 2 to 3 years from now, I would love to be doing fill in the blank. And I want you to give yourself 5 minutes of silence to just sit with that. And I recommend you take longer than 5 minutes with that, probably like a half hour, but start with 5 minutes if just sitting still quietly is tricky. Okay? Because that's a muscle that you're going to need to build. It's the muscle of focus. It's the muscle of concentration. So just set a timer for 5 minutes and start with that. How does that feel, Kiara? Just give me a thumbs up if you want to commit to that. And if you do, Kiara, I would love for you to post about it on Instagram after, either a story, a post, or just send me a DM so I can celebrate you. Because we have to celebrate the small stuff, okay? Whatever small action you take today, we've got to celebrate it. So I want everyone who's watching right now to just think about, does this give you a little bit of clarity? Does anybody, let me work through ooh, I see Danielle wants to come on. Danielle, I don't think I can bring you on Instagram and let everybody on Facebook see it right now. But if you could leave in the comments what you're currently moving towards, what your goal for the year is, and what you feel is limiting you right now. And I just want to say hey to Vicky and Mariah who recently joined us. Hey, Rachel, good to see you here. All right, let's talk about, let's see here. Oh, great, Toya. I'm glad that resonates with you. Writing your thoughts down has truly helped you. Great. I notice I don't seem as overwhelmed and anxious like I used to be. Awesome, Toya. I love that. Something I do want to say about this sitting quietly, we all have to get good at it because we have inner wisdom that we're not able to unlock if we don't let ourselves get quiet, if we don't turn off all the other voices. You have inner wisdom, you have intuition that is really going to be the thing that can guide you. Okay. Another thing I want to say about this is, Kiera, if you write down your plan, if you write down your thoughts after today's Instagram Live and you don't know what to do next, ask. Okay. So feel free to ask me either via DM or in the comments of this post, because if we don't know what's next, it's great to get guidance. It's great to get help. So it's great to know what the next step is, But I also, throughout my career, have always asked for help along the way from coaches, mentors, fellow performers. So you don't have to do this alone. You don't have to do this alone. Okay, so Danielle, let's see. Danielle, let us know what the goal you're working towards is. So I see you struggle with stepping into joy of success, and you second guess yourself too much and question why I was chosen. Okay, tell me what goal you're working towards right now, Danielle. Great to see you, Jennifer and Talita. So good to see you here. So Danielle, let us know what goal you're working towards, and let's figure out what this stuff is. If you have to get rid of it, that's another thing. Do you have to get rid of it? This came up for me this week in my own acting work. I had committed to taking a couple actions for some of my on-camera goals, and I didn't get them done. And so when I was sharing and talking to my own coach about this, she was saying, what if you don't need to do them? What if you're already taking enough action? Because for me, I tend to do a lot of things, take a lot of actions. What if doing less is what you need? So that's an idea. If someone here is doing 100 actions and you're not quite achieving the results you want, take a moment and think about that. Okay, is it inner work? Is it inner self-love that you need to do? Okay, so it might feel a little bit different. So, okay, so Danielle, whenever you're ready, I'm just waiting for you to tell me a little bit about the goal that you're working towards so we can get you to that next step. So I see that you're struggling with stepping into joy of success, and we want to do that for sure, but let's first see if that is in alignment with this goal you're working towards. I bet it is. But just give us a little bit more information. If there's anyone here in the Facebook group, in the Global Actors Facebook group, that wants to work through what some of your shit is, let me know. Feel free to leave it in the comments. Okay, I see Rachel here. Rachel's main intention for the year is making my TV debut. Buying into the limiting belief of unworthiness has been causing resistance. Okay. Buying into the limiting belief of unworthiness has been causing resistance. Thanks for sharing that, Rachel. Rachel, I'm wondering, have you ever felt worthy before? And can you tell me a little bit more about a time when you felt worthy? When was a time that you felt worthy? Because yeah, we do need to step into, I'm worthy of this. Absolutely. Okay, so Danielle, feeling worthy of each book that I narrated. Okay, so I want to complete the book and be proud of my work. I always want to go back and redo. Okay, so Danielle, you're talking about when you're narrating a book, you want to feel like you're proud of the work, and but right now you're feeling like you always want to go back and redo it. Okay. What if the work you did on that book was enough and the best that you could do on that day? Do you think that work was the best work that you could do on that day? Because my guess is it probably is. And is there a perfect? Are we aiming for perfection when it comes to narration work? Are we aiming for perfection, or are we aiming to be human and vulnerable? What do you enjoy more? Listening to a perfect performance, whatever that means, or a human performance? Just a thought on that, Danielle. Tell me what comes up for you when I kind of share that idea. Okay, with Rachel, talking about being worthy enough for this TV debut. I felt extremely worthy when I became a resident artist with a former theater company, when I got my MFA in acting, when I was cast as Beatrice in Much Ado, when I got theatrical representation in Texas and Atlanta. Great. Great. So you have felt worthy before. Are you willing, Rachel, to practice feeling worthy every day? And if so, what might that look like? If so, what might that look like? Yeah, the feelings of unworthiness come into play most when you're auditioning for TV. Is it because you want it so bad and you've never achieved it before, Rachel? And while I'm waiting for Rachel's answer, I'm going to go back to Danielle here. Hi, Brittany and Arisha. Great to see you. That's helpful, Danielle? Okay, great. Helps you reframe and look at it in more in the moment. Great. Rachel, Danielle, something I want to share with you. I've now done about over 140 audiobook narrations. If I were to go back and listen to my first audiobook and expect the experience that I have today, that just would be unfair. That would just be unfair. I did the best that I could at the moment of that first audiobook narration. And the cool thing is you are getting so many opportunities, Danielle, to just get better and better. But the goal is every time to be the most as human and vulnerable and real as you can be. So you are real, you are human, you are enough. And the fact that you're striving to be better is amazing. And that right there is enough because you're continuing to train, you're continuing to listen, you're continuing to listen to your own work and analyze it. So I wonder what you could invite in to your next narration to feel better about that. So is there a word that could help you have more fun in the booth? For me lately, I've been using the word playful. That's my word of the year, playful, because there's no right or wrong way to play. It's just being in a state of discovery and finding joy and having fun and not having to be right. And Danielle says, people are probably not as hard in my performance as I am on myself. Absolutely. Absolutely, Danielle. We are our own worst critics most often because we know what we're capable of. We've been with ourselves all those years. But what if your 80% or your 95% was really good? And I know you're giving more than 80 or 95%. You're giving your best, Danielle. So I want you to give yourself some credit today and think about how you could have more fun on your next narration. Being human. Yeah. So maybe before you walk into the booth, maybe you notice some things about yourself that make you human. Like for me right now, here's something that makes me human. I painted my nails and it's not quite perfect, but I had fun painting my nails and this is a color I like. Maybe it's the way I can taste water. So I'm just kind of playing around here. What are things that can make you feel in the moment more human so that you can have more fun? Thanks so much for sharing, Danielle. Let's go back to Rachel in the Facebook group. So Rachel says, I could expand my inner work, my daily spiritual practice to focus more on where there's evidence of my worthiness in and around TV. I think it definitely is because I haven't worked in TV yet, and it somehow seems new and like a huge milestone despite so much theater and film experience. Yes, Rachel. Do you feel rigid? Rachel, do you feel rigid to the way you will get this gig? Do you feel rigid about the way your TV debut is going to happen? Like, does it have to be right now in your mind, Rachel? Does it have to be from casting directors that you've been auditioning for? Or could it be a direct offer from someone that you went to school with? Could it be something you create? Are you open to it looking a little bit different? I say that because you might be putting a lot of pressure on those auditions that come in. And you might feel like, I've got to nail this. This has to be the one. And in doing that, you might be making it either too perfect or not as human enough. That seems to be a theme for the night, that we're aiming for this perfection instead of being our raw, messy human selves. Hey, Hannah, welcome, welcome. Yeah, absolutely. I have a Facebook group. So today's Instagram Live and Facebook Live is happening in two different places. So you can click on my bio at elisearsenault.actor and just join the link and join us in the Global Actors group. But I'm doing the live in both places today. So you can join us after the call. Yeah, so I'm not sure. Shamarisi says, "Oh my God, I do that in my auditions. Like is it the aiming for perfection and you end up not letting your messy human self come through?" Okay, so Rachel, that's a great question. No, I don't think I feel rigid. I'm working on manifesting something specific, but I always communicate to the universe that I'm very open to this or something better. Awesome, Rachel. Awesome. So yeah, I would say expand your inner work. When's the last time, how often are you letting yourself create and play just for fun outside of auditions? How often are you creating and playing? And I know you've created your own work, Rachel. You're doing so much to make this happen. I'm sure it's coming for you. Um, I know Christine Horn says you're doing all the right things. It's just a matter of time. And it's true. Some of you are really doing everything you can. It's just a matter of divine timing at this point. But if there's anything that is in our control, we definitely want to make sure we're doing that. So let me know what you think of that, Rachel. And if anyone has any questions about any of this, let me just open up for questions before we wrap tonight. So feel free to leave any questions about tonight's topic, which if you're just joining us, don't worry, this will be available on replay. So hey, to everyone who's watching on replay, I'm so glad you're here. Feel free to leave any questions in the comments and I will come back later and help you as I can. Okay, question here is walking in better instead of just waiting in frame? Ooh, that sounds like a very specific on-camera question. And I would say, what does the script tell you? Let's start with what is in the script. And you don't need to create something that isn't there. But if walking in is in alignment with the story that is being told, if it says you're walking in, I would walk in. Or if you're waiting in frame, make sure you're creating some life for you so that there's a clear beginning, middle, and end to your audition. Awesome. Okay, so Rachel says, I commit to a weekly self-tape practice outside of whatever auditions come through, but I used to work on scenes from Target Dream shows and I'd love to go back to doing that. Awesome, Rachel. What if you were to every other week instead of just, what if every other week your self-tape is a dream show? But I'm even thinking outside of acting. When's the last time you took yourself on an artist date? Did you ever do the artist's way? The artist's way is so powerful. And because to me, doing the self-tape practice, doing the dream roles, that's great because you're in the work. But where else could you be like letting your artist just play and be okay with not getting it right? Whether that's like going on a walk and just discovering things in nature, or going to a museum, or finger painting, something that has to do with art that you're not good at, so that you can just kind of play and not get it right. So that's just an idea. But Rachel, it sounds to me like you're doing so many of the right things. So this is nothing, no extra homework. But yeah, how can you deepen your inner work? It sounds like you're already doing it. And how can you, instead of focus so much on the actual work, how can you let yourself be more human and just play outside of your acting? Great. Will you tag me, Rachel, next time you do something where your artist is just playing? Like, aim to not get it right. What is that? What could that feel? Because I wonder if in a way you have to be okay with like not getting it perfect so you can have more fun. So that every time you get a self-tape opportunity, it's just another thing instead of the pressure of building up to I must get this. I am cheering you on so hard, Rachel. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. Thanks to everyone who joined us today. It was such a joy to be here with you. I will be doing more of these Facebook Lives, these Instagram Lives. So again, if you have not joined, if you're on Facebook and you haven't joined me yet on Instagram, join me. I'm at elisearsenault.actor. If you are on Facebook and you want to, if you're on Instagram and you're not in our Global Actors Facebook group, check it out. The link is in my bio. And if you would like a free gift, I have a couple free gifts. One is around strengthening your voice. So I have a really cool mini course and it's called the Vocal Health Pack. And so it helps you build your habits, really some of my favorite habits to having a strong, healthy voice all the time. So send me a DM if you would like a link to that. If you are new to me and you're interested in exploring voiceover in general, my expertise within voiceover is audiobook narration, but if you're just curious about dipping your toe into voiceover in general, including audiobooks, then send me a DM and let me know that, and I will send you our VO starter kit. Okay, that's it for me tonight. I will probably be putting this on YouTube. I'm going to be starting to bring more content to my YouTube channel. So if there's anything that you had questions about today, if there's anything you'd like me to teach more about in the future, again, feel free to just send me a DM and I will definitely keep that in mind for the future. Before you go, let's set an intention for Sunday. So it's Sunday as I'm doing this. What is one thought you want to keep in mind as you move through your work in the week ahead? Or what is one action you want to commit to taking that moves you further towards flying and away from the stuff that's weighing you down? How can you let go a little bit of the stuff that's weighing you down this week? Thank you, Shelley. Thank you, Lori. Let us know what your intention is for the week. I'm just going to sit with this for a moment and think about my intention. My intention is to be living fully in my body this week and listen to my impulses more. That's my intention. Let us know what yours is. Love that. To stay authentic and be more in my work. Awesome. Prep my book. Awesome, Cassandra. You're welcome, Karen. Allison's also going to focus on playing. That really resonated. Oh, I'm so glad. Ms. Max Marie is looking for the fun side of all I do. Awesome. Lori's going to take a breath, relax, and follow the energy. So good. Kimberly is going to surrender and increase productivity. Awesome. By surrendering. Yeah. I'm going to talk about procrastination in the future because that came up a couple times tonight. Yes, Christina is, her intention for the week is I am worthy of this work. Yes, you are. Christina, by the way, I loved your work and Don't Look Up. I finally saw it. It was so good. So proud of you. Congratulations. You are worthy of the work. Janine, Vision Board 2022 is what's happening, and work on your website. Amazing. Deanna is going to reduce sensory overload. Yes. Deanna, remind me if I'm mispronouncing your name, please. Meg is going to get plans in place. Great. Just how about one plan? One plan instead of multiple plans, Meg. Simplify one thing. I love that. Daisika is going to focus on self-love this week. Yes. Rachel's going to find more joy in life by playing. like my inner child wants to do. Awesome. Annie is going to surrender. That's what I need to do, especially when it comes to seeking approval from others. Annie's intention is to build confidence by doing my best work. Awesome. Thank you so much. Danielle is going to accept herself and be a human. Hannah's intention is to be aware of time management. Excellent. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a beautiful week. If you are interested in celebrating how the week went, every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, we celebrate inside the Global Actor Lounge inside Clubhouse. So you're welcome to join us there. I would love to hear you then. So looking forward to that, and have an incredible week. Let us know how it all goes here on Instagram and here on the Facebook group. And I will see you all soon. Be well. Lots of love. And I'm just going to say bye to Instagram first. And I will say bye to Facebook. Thanks, everyone.